Shell Donegal Rally Mark II Special in association with APD Property Developments Donegal.
It's out of this world. 22 demanding stages. Breathtaking scenery.
Yes, prepare to have your breath taken away by the exciting Mark II escorts as we look back at the Shell Donegal Rally, where Sebastian Loeb wasn't the only big name to interest local Mark II driver Eugene Ferry.
Well, we have the likes of Phil Collins here, so like our Sebastian Loeb in terms of modified cars, and everybody is trying to get the better Mark II, and they're nearly as good as RRCs and better to watch.
People say mine is not a proper Mark II Escort, but I do still have a 4-cylinder engine, a gearbox in the middle, and it's a 2-wheel drive car. Obviously we've done a lot of work on the suspension. I have a big diff in it because my 2.5 litre engine would break your ordinary Atlas axle, so I've got a 9-inch diff in the car. I've got a sequential gearbox, but there's loads of people with sequential gearboxes and 2.5 litres, so there's not a big difference between the cars really. And when it's as wet as it is today, that ain't gonna, actually my 2.5 litres a disadvantage because I'm going to be spinning wheels and all over the place. The boy with the 2 litre get traction better than me.
The present Mark IIs are built to an extremely high standard. Like a present Clubman Mark II would be probably the standard of Works Mark II 20 odd years ago. They're great crack to drive, and you know, they're good crack to watch.
The ultimate fun car. You know, we could have had something 4-wheel drive, and I'm not saying they're not fun, but when you step into a Mark II, even if you're having a bad day, you can enjoy yourself. If you're not competitive, you can enjoy yourself. They are expensive, you know. I know we've spent money on it, but by the same token, they give us back in enjoyment what we put in money, so I don't mind.
Usually noted for great rallying and great summer weather, this year's Donegal Rally, like many Irish events this year, was affected by the exceptionally wet weather. Nonetheless, the 3-day event attracted thousands of fans to the northwest to watch some of the best rallying Ireland has to offer. In the 25 years of competing at the Donegal Rally, Phil Collins has finished just once back in 1984. So the event isn't a very lucky one for the Hereford man. With Derek Brannigan on the notes, Phil believes he can finish this time, and he takes an early lead in the 2.5 litre escorts. Next on the road in the first of the Tiernog Mark IIs are local men Damien Gallagher and Mac Walsh. With the wet conditions evening things out, Damien's Class 13 machine is just a couple of seconds off the Class 14 escort of Collins.
The 60 up past medium left, turn square right. Gear 1. Past medium left, bump it. Crest. Easy right, and pick up. Don't come out of it.
Antrim man Wesley Hannison has been looking forward to Donegal and plans to give it a real go this year. Regular co-driver Ruth Guest from Cork is in the hot seat again, but the pair are conscious of the slippery conditions and bed themselves in over the opening stages of day one. Robbie Peoples and Keith Stewart have been competing in their home event for many years now, and despite confessing to being past their best, the crew are still on the pace today. More contenders for local honours are Mark McGee and Damien Crawford. Co-driver Damien is multitasking while calling the notes this weekend because he's also the chairman of the Donegal Motor Club. With the late seat in the car are Eugene Ferry and John Gallagher. They will be another crew to watch this weekend as they vie for local honours in their powerful Class 14 escort, which is already beginning to lose oil pressure.
And one left, and flat out of one left over bumps, and one right. Caution, 4 left long, tightens deceptive. And it opens again into double caution, 3 right slowing, 3 right long slowing into chicane, 3 right long into chicane. gravel on it on the chicane there now. Left into the chicane. 200. Over the bridge and 200 out of it.
The second of the Tiernan Mark IIs is driven by Brian Brogan. Brian proves to be on the pace as he takes the Class 13 machine into the lead on his home stages. And by stage 6, he's 11 seconds up on Phil Collins. Derry crew Seamus O'Connell and Sean McGee are high flyers in Class 14. They are second in class behind Phil Collins and lie 6th overall after the 6 stages of day 1.
83 dip and turn square right. Over bump. 200. Fast medium left over bump. Into absolute crest. 200.
Normally competing in a Group N Lancer, Manus Kelly and Donald Barrett couldn't resist the lure of driving their home stages flat out in a Mark II Escort. Taking inspiration from his father's win in Donegal in times gone by, Conor Curley is hoping for another Curley win this weekend, but with no brakes on stage 4, it's already a struggle for Conor.
Going here. No brakes now. And 170, 4 right, bump bridge 170. 4 right. 4 right here.
Scottish crew Callum and Ian Duffy are over from the Isle of Mull to enjoy their Mark II battle over the hills of Donegal and are already on the pace. But we spoke with driver Callum before the start of the rally as he gave a new meaning to the term out for a cut.
Well, I looked up before I came here and we're now in Bernie Ryan's Port Hare studio, which is seemingly the best in Letterkenny. And the power to weight ratio is quite heavy in the car, so I've dropped a couple of grams there, so I think I'm going to win now.
Normally we'd see them stepping out of a saloon, but today it's a salon. And it seems the secret is out and Wesley Patterson also opts for the streamlined look. Back out in the stages now, and there's no trouble for late seats. Rodney Wilton and Conor McMahon, the competitive cabin crew, are on the pace again right from the start and are 4th overall by the end of day 1. Seamus Hegarty and Paul Gary in the Swillian Escort prove better than their ceiling and lie inside the top 10 times after day 1. One place ahead on the Mark II leaderboard is Tyrone man Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan on the nose. Leading Class 12 and just outside the top 10 is local man Daniel Conahan. So there's how things stand after day 1, and leader Brian Brogan will be hoping for more of the same as he prepares to tackle day 2.
Good in it so far, but it's early yet, you know. Long day to go today.
6 stages complete, but today's going to be, this is the main day of the rally. The pressure's on this morning, we're so close. There's only a couple of seconds splitting the first 5 or 6 of us here. And it's first man out of break, I suppose, today will be the one, you know.
Well, unfortunately, Eugene, you encountered a few problems yesterday.
Yes, on the second last stage we came off Cart Mountain. We had the eye light flashing, so we ran low in oil. So we just drove through the last stage to get into service, and fingers crossed everything will be alright for today.
The weather may not be ideal for the 10 tough stages of day 2, but the crowds are still gathering for what's sure to be some great action on the slippery roads. And the first car on the road now are leaders Brian Brogan and Damien McGettigan, who are the first to fall victim to the conditions. This overshoot sees them lose the lead and drop back down the leaderboard. And so with Brogan faltering, Phil Collins capitalises and retakes the lead. This time he intends to hold on to it. And it won't be easy holding on to any advantage today with a host of very able competitors hot on their heels. The closest now are Damien Gallagher and Mac Walsh.
6 caution, easy right, small crest, fast left braking. 4 caution, key right. Turn 6 left, shiny tire, don't cut. 150.
Rodney Wilton and Conor McMahon were hoping to improve on their overnight position of 4th, but an overshoot at the same junction Brogan did sees them drop to 5th. Moving sideways into 3rd spot on Martin McGee and club chairman Damien Crawford in the Cranford Stone Mark II. It's also a good start to day 2 for Seamus O'Connell, who moves from 6th up to 4th.
Easy right into easy left, 40, and then key right over crest, repeat key right over crest, 60, then key right long, tightens at the wall, repeat tightens at the wall, into a key left, it's long right, into a key left, and turn medium left long.
But it's more problems for Eugene Ferry, who punctures on stage 9, stops to change it, then slams a wall whilst trying to catch up.
1 left, 60. 4 right, long over crest, and the dip of 60. 4 right. 4 right.
Things are worse for Wesley Pattison en route, guests who are forced to retire with mechanical problems. Local crew Robbie Peoples and Keith Stewart are still in fine form and hold on to their top 5 standing on the Mark II leaderboard. With his brake problem sorted, Conor Curley is now on the pace and pushing to get into the top 5 Mark II standings.
Caution, sudden 5 right in for long 2 left. 4 right over crest, 100.
Currently the 7th quickest Mark II is that of Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan, who are setting some very competitive times. Just 1 place behind at the halfway stage of the rally and pushing almost as hard as Seamus Hegarty and Paul Gary.
So Phil Collins has now gained that lead and the battle continues for 2nd between Martin McGee and Damien Gallagher. Join us after the break to see who comes out on top as the battle continues here at the Shell Donegal International Rally.
And welcome back to Donegal for the 2nd part of the Mark II special in association with APD Property Developments. The rally is renowned for attracting huge crowds and spirits are certainly high despite the lack of summer sun as we rejoin the action now on stage 12. Brian Brogan is on a serious charge to regain the top spot he lost earlier on. But it doesn't take much to push too hard and Brian has a serious crash that's captured by Michael Mulligan's camera. And thankfully the crew are okay, but it's rally over for them. As Phil Collins almost throws his lead away in similar fashion on the same stage, but he holds on to increase his lead to 58 seconds by the end of day 2. Damien Gallagher is 2nd to Collins, but a faulty gearbox and a 15-second road penalty could spoil his efforts on day 2.
Easy right, downhill, caution, fast medium right, right long, tightens of green, the caution, medium right long, tightens. Watch these 2. 80 through up.
Unfortunately, Rodney Wilton's rally is brought to a halt when he's forced to retire with mechanical failure. No such problems for Martin McGee and Damien Crawford, who are now embroiled in a battle for local honours with Damien Gallagher. Also in very close contention for the top local crew is Robbie Peoples, just a handful of seconds further back. After a problematic event, so far Eugene Ferry is finally making headway and is now pushing for the top 10 spots.
3 right over crest jump, in the middle of a bridge and 5 left. Into hairpin right, double tighten, crest jump, square left. Square right, caution, don't cut the square right. Caution, don't cut, over crest jump, 6 left, 6 right, crest, 6 right. Into 2 right, over crest, 65 right.
With his Mark II showing signs of an earlier mishap, unfortunately, Seamus O'Connell exits the rally with gearbox trouble.
Gearbox away.
And turn hairpin right. 150.
Gearbox away.
Hairpin right, don't cut. Into. Easy right. 80.
Conor Curley has repaired his brake problem and they come in very handy when he understeers this 6 right.
Long 6 right in. 4 left in.
Oh,
4 left in, 3 right. 40, 3 right. And 3 right.
11th quickest Mark II driver Kerryman Dave Slattery survives a few moments in his escort before chatting with Breed at service halt.
Square right slippy, 60. Square right slippy, 60. 2 left over jump, 170.
Steve, you have travelled quite a wee bit to be here this weekend, all the way from Killarney.
I am very happy to be here at this present time, but still here and very happy to be here.
Has it been worth it? Productive so far?
Yeah, very slippy, very hard stages, but happy enough, yeah.
What kind of result do you hope to take home with you down south?
She's a finish, should be very happy with that.
Another Kerryman happy to be in Donegal is Peter Kelly, who provides his co-driving sister Peggy with a few nervous moments over some very big jumps.
Flat! 170, you put 1 right. Stay left over crest, big jump. You're braking after the crest for a 6 left. F***ing hell, Pete.
Peter, you've also made the trip from Killarney to tackle the Donegal stages. How productive has it been?
Well, not too good. We had a problem with the front of the car. We thought it was tyres and we thought it was the castle and camber, but in the second lash stage, after figuring out that the quick rack was loose, so they've stopped it now, so they're going to attack the next 3.
Unfortunately, the Kelly's attack goes pear-shaped when the escort develops engine problems and then dramatically loses the bonnet mid-stage.
Double caution, 1 right long, brake before crest, and you have 5 right. 5 right.
Despite this, they keep going, but there's only so much punishment their escorts can take, and they eventually retire after several more moments.
5 left, right through junction. You have a big crest jump, and you're very big jump. Stay left, 40. Oh. Jesus Christ, Peter. Crest jump, 6 left.
The crowds are certainly getting their fair share of entertainment, and the 12th fastest Mark II driver Paul Hughes adds to the excitement by giving one of the photographers a lens full of dirt.
In the middle through crossroads, and 6 right, through dip, and 40, 4 left, into 2 right.
Hoping to win the bragging rights of the Curley clan is Conor's brother Ronan. A couple of errors sees Ronan coming second best for the moment, but there's still 2 Curley escorts on the top 10 leaderboard.
K right to go, opens. 20, 6 left, 6 right gravel. What's the gravel in the 6 left? 6 right then. 40, good man. Caution medium right over gravel bump junction and down to a fast medium right tight.
Providing some of the best sideways action so far is Michael Peoples with Hugh Curran on the notes, and Breach catches up with the Derry crew at the service halts.
So Michael, Atlantic Drive coming up, looking forward to it.
Aye, not so bad. Hopefully anyway. See if we get finished. Praying for a finish.
How was the first run over it?
Oh, good. Definitely a good run. Good fast run there. We caught a car, so we were gaining time anyway.
Unfortunately, Michael's fast run comes to an end when they retire with mechanical trouble. More non-finishes are local men Alistair Hetherington and John Call, who survived this moment, only to retire later on. Unfortunately, hair-raising Scottish crew Callum and Ian Duffy are further retirements from the rally. This is one of the many moments experienced by Monaghan crew Mick McQuaid and Arthur Cairns before they also retire. Popular local crew Sean and David McColgan were pushing for a top 5 spot before retiring. So with the final loop approaching, Breach catches up with the top local crews at the service halt.
Martin, the battle that they're all certainly talking about is between yourself and Damien Gallagher. I believe there are seconds, half a second in it.
Well, I think it's 1.7 seconds, but Damien got a time penalty, and morally I feel almost 15 seconds, and no matter what happens, he's going to get it back somewhere today.
I mean, like for example, yesterday evening, Martin and us on Cairn Hill was only spitting on there about half a second. But now today we're going down to his home country, so maybe for a bit of a trouncing down here, I don't know, but I'll try and up a pace as best I can.
As the final loop gets underway, why walk when you can travel in style to the next spectating area? As we count down the top 10 Mark II finishers. In 10th place are Ronan Curley and John McKinley, who take 3rd in Class 14. 9th quickest Mark II and winners of Class 12 are Daniel Conahan and Liam McLaughlin. 8th fastest Mark II and 2nd in Class 14, after a problematic weekend, are Eugene Ferry and John Gallagher. 3rd in Class 13 and 7th on the Mark II leaderboard are Seamus Hegarty and Paul Gary. And runners-up in Class 13 and 6th best Mark II crew are Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan. Taking the Class 14 trophy and finishing 5th on the Mark II leaderboard are Conor Curley and Nigel Fraser. 4th quickest Mark II crew and Class 13 trophy winners are Robbie Peoples and Keith Stewart. Martin McGee and Damien Crawford lost time with a puncture on the last loop and couldn't reel in Damien Gallagher, but they are delighted to climb the Mark II podium to take 3rd. 2nd on the Mark II podium, Damien Gallagher and Mac Walsh overcame their fair share of problems to see off the challenge for Mark McGee and finish as top local crew in the national section. But there was no catching Phil Collins' overnight lead of 58 seconds. In fact, he and co-driver Derek Brannigan increased their margin to over 2 minutes by the end of day 3. So if finishing his first Donegal rally in 22 years was the icing on the cake, then taking the win was the cherry on the top. So with huge crowds gathered to welcome back the top crews, the atmosphere is electric as the winners mount the finish ramp to rapturous applause.
Phil, this is the one you've been waiting for. What a magical weekend you've had in Donegal.
Absolutely phenomenal. 22 years since I last finished the event, 25 years since I started coming here. As I was just saying, I've taken home more piles of scrap on trailer than anybody else in this rally, I'm sure. And I'm the happiest man here tonight. It's fantastic.
We beat Mr. McGee for 2nd place. I mean, it was a phenomenal run over the drive this evening. It scared the life out of me. Some of the drops out of the wishing, but poised it and poised as hard as we could, and we got it, I think, by just only a couple of seconds and end up. So, a brilliant end to a brilliant rally.
Both of us tried, like Damien drove the best stage he ever drove in the drive. It just happens to be a pity he did it this weekend.
As you can see from the masses of crowds here behind me, Donegal was the place to be this weekend. And congratulations to Phil Collins and Derek Brannigan, who took their Mark II Escort home to take that first position in the national event. Well, that's it from the 36th Shell Donegal International Rally. So from myself and the rest of the On The Limit sports crew here at the Errigal Hotel in Donegal, see you soon.
Shell Donegal Rally Mark II Special in association with APD Property Developments Donegal.